Hi guys, MC here with another tech tip. Now if you've been through our Modern Marketing Academy or been to some of our masterclasses where we teach sales process for accountants and advisors, you'll know that it is best practice to use a purpose-built tool to manage the flow of opportunities and sales leads coming through your business. Now there are various ways to do it, and the tool that we'd recommend to you would depend on where you're at on your journey in developing your business. But the point of today's tech tip is to make sure that your advisors are not the people to do the data entry in keeping a sales opportunity in a pipeline up to date. And here's a quick tip for how you can delegate to a sales coordinator or a personal or virtual assistant to update and do the data entry that's really important, but that you as the advisor or director or partner in the business shouldn't have to do yourself. Now on screen here, we're seeing a real life opportunity that's just been created. We've got an inquiry for someone who wants to work with Paradox. They're based in New Zealand, but we've covered the information so that their identity is protected. We also use another app for workflow. So for project management, task management, that's called Wrike. That's W-R-I-K-E, which we absolutely love. It leaves every other tool that we've evaluated in this space, including Trello and Podio and Basecamp, etc., in the dust. But it all depends on what your requirements are. One of the great things about Wrike is that it has a Chrome extension that allows you to very quickly create a task when you're on a web page, capture a screenshot, and delegate that task through to someone. So let me just show you now how that works. In this opportunity, it's just been created, so it's at a stage that we've defined called new. Now the stages that we have in our sales process, and we recommend you use something as simple as this as well. It's easy to overcomplicate the stages, but they're new, opening, scoping, closing, and won, and then there's either deferred, won, or lost. So there are a range of things that need to happen, because at the moment all we know is this person's name and his email address, and by virtue of that his web address as well. But within our system we want the contact record to be completed. So that includes other information about LinkedIn profiles and location specifically, and a whole raft of information that's just available on the web. We also want a company record created, because in our CRM and Infusionsoft you can have a company record and related contact records. We also want to make sure that this business is added to a Google map that we have, and that's another quick little aside as another tech tip. You should have your own custom private Google map where you essentially, in the old days of putting up a great big map on the wall, you might put thumbtacks in the wall, you have a map for your current clients, prospective clients, and other information that's important to you. And there's a few other steps here, for example, making sure the contact has the tag in our system to ensure that they get our newsletter, which is called Modernize. Now that takes work. There's other things in here. We have protocols about what date to put in for when we think this deal or this opportunity will close, will come to fruition, and projected revenue. We have some rules of thumb that we put in there for projected revenue, high and low. So anyway, there's a little bit of work to be done there. It's data entry work, and hey, I'm not going to do it. It's best done by someone in the team that is faster at doing it, and it's just more cost effective to do it as a business. So all I need to do is click the Wrike extension button in the toolbar, and it brings up the name of the web page, which again we've just obscured the firm's name for you. And another tech tip is you should be using text expansion tools. On Windows there's one called Phrase Expander and others. It's also on Mac, there's one called Text Expander, which we use, and it's now also available on Windows. And I'm just going to type new op 1, and it's expanded to add complete new steps in opportunity 4, because I didn't want to type that out. So I just typed a little snippet, it's called, and it's expanded out for the firm name. Add it to the folder. We've got one called Sales Tasks. Who's it for? It's for Don. And watch this, I just click that button, bam, it takes a screenshot, add to Wrike, and I can move on with my day knowing that that task, which now is coming up on the screen, is ready for Don to do in the next day or so. But I'll just show you a couple of other pretty cool things here in Wrike. So here's the task here, I'll just bring it up in full screen. Now notice a couple of things here. Here's the screenshot that I took from where it is. There's a link that when Don clicks that, that will take him to the exact web page that I was on when I created it. That's pretty efficient, I think you would agree. And obviously that assumes that Don has access to our Infusionsoft, which he does. Don is a marketing assistant and also my personal assistant within Paradox. And all I do here is I just @mention him, so we'll get a little notification. @Don. Bam. Send that through. And Don will now not only have that task on his list, but he'll get a little notification because I've @mentioned here in Wrike. He just clicks that, does that work, which might take him 10 or 15 minutes. And that means that our sales pipeline and our CRM, contact records, company records, our Google map, and also the contact is tagged appropriately, so he or she will receive the appropriate communication from us moving forward. Super efficient. Now I know I've talked through it. Usually that takes me a sum total of 30 seconds to add it to Wrike, take the screenshot, assign it to Don, and move on with my day. And I'll now let you do the same. So that's this week's tech tip. I'll see you again next week for another one.